My fiancé cheated on me a week before I proposed. This is really tough for me as I just found out. I am staying calm and rational, but I've clearly been hit hard by this and need to get this off my chest and hear some thoughts. My fiancé is a flight attendant based in City B. We have been in a long-distance relationship for 2 years and 10 months and are due to get married. Due to her job, she can fly into my city for a day every other week on average, and we video call almost every day. In addition, we have taken quite a few 2-3 week-long vacations together, met each other's families, etc. She is beautiful, naturally flirty, and comes from a culture that's quite liberal about sex. I'm currently visiting her in City B and I have an Airbnb. She is flying this weekend and so I am alone. She left her iPad and a photo memory popped up on the screen. It was a photo of her and a guy who I had never seen before playing mini golf in my city, just the two of them. What caught my eye was the date, April 13th. This surprised me because whenever she is in my city, we are pretty much always together. But then I remembered there was one weekend where she was supposed to come, but she told me her flight got rescheduled. The dates matched up. She did come to my city, but she was with this guy instead. I will call him Gael. I'm not one to snoop, but lying about your flight being cancelled and flying in any way to hang out with a guy I don't know warrants investigation. She gave me her passcode a long time ago and knows I know it. I saw some messages with her friends, as she seemed to be openly bragging about this guy. After a lot of research, I found one chat with friend T admitting that she would lie to me about the flights and they talked about this guy. She even told her the morning that she arrived in London that she was feeling horny. She later told friend T that she can't take it anymore. He has blue eyes. Smiling like a little deer. She told friend Z, gay best friend from back home, that she only wants a Gael, could have been jokey / a crush. She told friend Y, friend who frequently cheats on her BFs, about this guy the most. She shared the photos of them after mini golf and asked if it was cute, and friend Y replied very, and something like they were well suited together. She even shared screenshots from her chat with him. I don't know how she met Gael, but they had scheduled to meet up in my city at least 1.5 months before they actually did, so this was clearly premeditated. Most damningly, she told him to meet her at the hotel that she would be staying at. He had been under the impression that they would hang out for 2 nights, before she corrected him that she would only be there for 1. This pretty heavily implies that the plan was for him to spend the night with her. I found that she had blocked and deleted this guy's messages, so it seems to have been a one-time thing. For context, we have had a great relationship since the beginning. I even took her to get her engagement ring fitted in January, so this happened after she knew I was planning to propose. However, there was a conflict with my family, which seemed pretty severe at the time. Though it's all sorted now, at the very least we were going through a rough patch regarding our future together with my family, or at worst, perhaps it seemed to her that our relationship might be ending because of this and she needed to find someone else. So it's possible they met at this time and had been talking for a while before agreeing to meet up. Also, in her conversation with friend Y, after they met up she told her that I was better and that in any case Gael was not interested in marriage. So there is some reason to believe she may have thought the relationship was not sustainable going forward, and started looking elsewhere. Obviously I'm really hurt because we clearly had not broken up, and scrolling through my messages with her at the time, there was a lot of I love yous between us during the period even just before they were due to meet. That weekend, she was completely ignoring my calls and only responded, "Babe, I'm tired." Only when I messaged her a couple days later did she say she wanted a serious talk with me, which was pretty easy, just me confirming that I did want to marry her. Her openness about bragging about this guy and how cute he is really grated me. She is like that in general, to her friends that know me, and is pretty horrible. One other interesting thing is that a few months ago, her closest friends basically started shunning her. My fiancé insisted she had no idea why, but given that it happened soon after I proposed, we thought maybe they were jealous, or moving on, given that it would mean she would be leaving City B to come and live with me. But these are good people, they know me well, they are very nice, and it is weird that they would just shun her. Meanwhile, the friends who have stayed with her all have a reputation for either cheating or being quite promiscuous in general. It makes me think that the reason they started shunning her is because they are disgusted by what she did and feel sorry for me. They like me a lot. This killed any hope I had that maybe in the end they had just met up to play mini golf, perhaps with friend T who may have taken the photos of them, and didn't end up sleeping together, because I did not find any concrete evidence that they did in the end. One other mitigating factor is that at the beginning of the year, we agreed that she would get off birth control. I've read a few stories on Reddit that women start behaving differently with regards to the men they are attracted to once their hormones change, especially for the first few months, so I was keen to see if this would happen as she had been on birth control the whole time I knew her. This could explain why she was suddenly behaving in a more sexually aggressive way. I did notice that she was a bit more aggressive and short-tempered with me at the beginning, but several months later it didn't seem to be too much of an issue, so I thought maybe it was just her body getting used to the hormonal change. I need to think fast about whether I can forgive this as we are getting married soon. It's not a big wedding, so that's not an issue, but it's still heartbreaking for my parents and grandparents who thought I would be finally getting married. It's also embarrassing trying to explain this at work. I think my close friends would be understanding. Obviously I'm hurt by what has happened, but I'm trying to think about the possibility of it happening again. The combination of being a flight attendant, where it's easy to meet guys, coming off birth control changing her hormones, and our rough patch, along with her blocking this guy and telling her friend that I was better makes me think this was a one-off. When she moves to my city, she will have a much more conservative life in the suburbs, where going to bars and promiscuity are not really a big thing where I live. I'm not saying she won't have opportunities to cheat if she wanted to, but it wouldn't be thrust in her face nearly as much. She also would not be surrounded by friends who are a bad influence. She is very sociable, if she stops being an FA and lives in the suburbs with me. She says she is committed to me and marriage, but she is impulsive and immature. We are in our early 30s. Otherwise, she is great. I'm verging on forgiving her, but also know that it would be better to get out now before we are married/have kids if I think she is unable to commit to a married relationship and mature. I don't want to confront her about this unless I have decided to break up. If we stay together, it may be better that she doesn't know that I know.